We're live.
SOUTHFLORIDA. South Florida. Go Bulls. Your USF Bulls knock off Navy 44-30, and that score is a little deceptive because USF took over in the second half, Seth, and it was all Bulls all day as your South Florida Bulls go 3-2 on the season, and they end September with a winning record nearly halfway through the season. They just need 3 more wins for a bowl game. Initial thoughts, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is it kind of started out the first thing when we were talking on the halftime show. One of the things we said is, we expect Navy to blitz. You might not be able to get the explosive plays you did in the first half. Hopefully that's not an issue. First drive that came out, Navy brings a little pressure. You go 3 and out. I think maybe the first 2 drives, and you're thinking, oh, boy. But they stayed the course, able to kind of put some longer drives together. And then, obviously, that defensive touchdown was huge. The ball looked like it was on the ground for about 30 seconds before somebody picked it up, just spinning back there slowly. But great job by Tramel Logan. That's going to be big fantasy points for somebody. I think Steve might have Tramel Logan.
Yeah. We definitely do have to update those fantasy points after week 5. Maybe it's more of a like, what was it, rotisserie or total points league than
it's
week
a season
to week.
long.
I think
it's
that's
a season long thing.
Yeah. That seems to be the thing. So let's take a look at Navy's drives starting in the second half. Field goal, they started on the USF 39. Punt, they started at the Navy 8. They fumbled. I believe that was the scoop and score. Started at the Navy 23. Punt, missed field goal, and then they scored a touchdown with 7 minutes left. 7 minutes and 28 seconds left, and the Bulls went into their 7-minute offense. Is that a thing? Because the Bulls never relinquished possession of the ball as they completely choked down the second half of that fourth quarter. The thing that you're looking for, obviously, help with the roughing of the punter. Obviously, Brody is just beside himself about.
I've got my own crew.
Game.
I've got my own crew in the other. It's like a call and response right now.
It's been pretty remarkable. But for the Bulls, they did literally everything they needed to do to win the second half, and I felt great coming into the game. I felt great at halftime, and then this was just the fruition of like everything that we've seen through 4 weeks. It was them being able to capitalize on good plays, them being able to bounce. I think the most important thing for the fan base, for this program, bounce back from the bad ones. The thing that has been the bugaboo for 5 years is the one bad play doesn't culminate into 14 bad plays. They were able to bounce back from that. The fumble didn't lead to anything. It was a missed field goal. They go back down, I believe, and they score, and it was the end of it. Like, that was it. That was over. Fantastic job by USF, who has not won at Navy ever until today.
Yeah, that's a sneaky tough place to play. I think it's like it's not like hard to get to, but it's not like super easy. It's not like just like super easy to get to. Where do you stay? And it's an interesting environment too. There's a lot of cool stuff going on pregame. There's just a lot of pomp and circumstance around. So yeah, it's good to see the team. I think what is it, like 1,000+ days since a road win?
Yeah, I think it's this first road win in 19 games. So just about.
Yeah. So
I couldn't even, gun to my head, couldn't even tell you what the last road game win was.
I think
probably ECU 2019.
Then maybe that's why they showed that beautiful highlight of Kurt Reigel throwing a dart into the end zone. That could be why. But yeah, it's a big one. I think not just obviously going on the road is big. Starting out 2-0 in conference is really big. You get to go on the road again next week, and if you win that one, we were talking about maybe going to UConn. You could possibly be looking to clinch a bowl game in UConn if you keep playing really well. And there has not been really the drop-off we've seen in the recent past, where you'd play really well one week, you come out and lay the egg next week. There have been spurts where they don't play great, but for the most part, you've been able to play pretty well game to game to game for, I'd say, really the whole season.
Yeah, you mentioned the spurts. It definitely showed up today. I think USF was down 14-0 within 5 minutes of the game starting, but then they tore off a 44-16 run to end the game. So that's still a dub. So that's been the great thing about this team is
thank you, Justin.
that can't be. That is so many days.
That's a lot of days.
1,435.
I think I have
days.
a kid that's younger than that.
It has. How long is? Hold up. Was it 1495?
1435.
In years. Okay, that is. Yeah, Brody. This is his first.
This is my son's first.
9 years.
This is my son's first USF road win.
Yeah, Brody's never.
He's
seen,
3.5.
No. I mean, maybe it's because of us.
Could be.
Probably
class
not.
Of whatever that class is.
So total stats: USF total offense 435 to Navy's 330. Most of Navy's damage happened on that big 68-yard touchdown at the end of the game where, I know, understandably, people started to freak out, but it was still a two-score game with 6 minutes and 35 seconds left or whatever, 8 minutes left. The game was over. It was a wrap. You're not going to get beat deep twice.
There's a lot of ghost of seasons. There's a lot of ghost of seasons past that creep up in every game.
Yes,
it seems like go in the Discord chat, and it's just however the game going. As soon as something bad happens, it's over. We did get I think it was the earliest declaration of the game being over so far this year. 14-0. Somebody in the live Discord chat said this game's over. Good thing they kept playing because USF was able to go on a pretty good run.
The narrator, it was not. I think the great thing, at least for USF, I know they thought they'd be limited in drives, but I mean, 13 drives for the South Florida Bulls. Maybe none more important than them being able to hold on to the ball for the last 7 minutes and 28 seconds of that fourth quarter. Again, buoyed by the roughing the punter call, but if it was a running into or roughing, it was still a first down for the Bulls. Yeah. It would have iced the game regardless. That was a great job by the offense, by Alex Golish, by the entire offensive staff to get it going.
And the reason you had so many possessions is because you held Navy to 3 of 14 on third downs.
Massive.
And the average distance to go on third down was 7 yards. Navy, the triple option teams make a living having that average distance to go to be about 3 to 4 yards. You kind of double that, make them have to throw on third down a little bit, and they couldn't do it. They tried to run a few times, but you kept them just short of the sticks. They'd have to punt, especially when you had them backed up in their own end. It just, the yardage probably doesn't tell the total story, even though it's not bad from a defensive perspective. But the defense played really well. I thought really, really well for this kind of offense. You're going to give up some yardage, and you're going to give up a few plays. You're going to get creased every now and then, but really only allowed scores for the most part. Short fields, and then a couple, like you said, there's a couple explosive pass at the end. But for the most part, man, really, really good job by the defense.
Yeah, it was a fantastic job by the defense. And this is without DJ Gordon, who's been kind of the heart and soul of the defense. He didn't even play this week. Missed some time with some personal family issues per Alex Golish. And Andrew Mataafa stepped in, had 10 tackles, half tackle for loss. Did a good enough job to get the job done.
This is the game, I think.
Yes.
This is the game for, this is, I think, his play style. This is the game for him. He's an in-the-box, downhill linebacker. This is the game he probably relished being in this type of game. I don't know if you get against a team that likes to spread you out a little bit more, like a Western Kentucky type team. I don't know if that's his game, but this one, it kind of fit perfectly. Yeah, Schuler's been playing really well all year as well. He says Schuler had a nice game as well. Yep.
Yep.
It's the improvement you've seen from players that were here last year is really interesting. I think it really speaks to kind of getting Golish went and got, for the most part,
Right.
really veteran coaches that have done it before at a high level, and those guys are, it's paying off.
Absolutely. I think it's clear because, there's a lot of roster turnover, but the guys who are still making plays, Jalen Stokes, Daquan Evans, like Tremo Logan, who had the big scoop and score, like a lot of these guys have been here. So, like, it seems like there was enough talent to at least have a starting base,
not the worst
right?
defense of all time.
Right. Like, you shouldn't have been as bad as you've been for the last couple of years. And it's starting to turn, I'm proud of their resiliency. I think that's probably the most important thing is, they haven't been able to do anything for years. And to be able to be 3-2 after your first 5 games, you get out of September, and it's a tough slate. Like, you lost 2 games that people didn't think you were going to win. And then you beat a team that I think the line ended up Navy -4, and you blow them out. Like, regardless of the score, it was a 3-score game, quite frankly, in the second half. Like, that last one is just like you're messing around on like Xbox, and you're just like, you know what? I'm going to engage 8 and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like,
they brought a corner blitz and nobody rotated. Nobody rotated back. And this, if you we're a fan of the Blog Boy Roundtable, our very own Colin Sherwin, this was his pick of the week. He made an impassioned plea for it, and he was right on. This was an odd one where you really felt like the better team was not favored, but the whole Navy of it all going on the road, kind of, I think, scared some of us off from going after it. But he went after it, and like you said, man, and if you look at the 2 losses too, you've played pretty well in all these games. Even in your losses, you played pretty well. You had chances to win or had chances to do something. There was no blowouts, no Louisvilles, nothing of that sort so far this year. So really good to see, and especially see guys step up when guys are out. Donovan Jennings didn't play again. RJ Perry is able to play and do just fine. You mentioned DJ Gordon not playing. So it's not like, the real issue last year was health, but you're seeing guys kind of step up when their numbers called and have success. So,
yeah, and we'll see. You talk about guys stepping up. Joffrey Brown, 7 catches, 80 yards. Naeem Simmons kind of held, comparative to what he did last week. 5 catches, 23. Sean Atkins obviously had the big 88-yard touchdown catch that kind of set it up. But Michael Brown-Stevens with a phenomenal catch for the go-ahead score when it was tied 23-23 to kind of spark the rest of this offense. He finished with 4 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown on 5 targets. But none more important than that touchdown. There were some, quite frankly, on both sides of the ball offensively, there were some great scheming of plays.
Yeah, I mean, that's what at this point you feel pretty confident in terms of, them getting into the right play. It may not happen immediately, but you feel like you're not going to go a whole game or a whole half or a whole quarter even just having kind of no clue what's going on or feeling kind of aimless offensively. They seem to be able to make adjustments pretty quickly and understand what's giving them issues and then adjusting to it. So that's been good to see, because there are times where, you just have something's a problem and you can't fix it. And this offense seems to have fixes for a lot of the issues. So they've done a really good job with that. And that's why you're seeing the offense kind of constantly improve, it seems like.
Yeah, I'm super proud of what this team's been able to do. But we move on the road at UAB. I hope to God we see a coach fight, but like an internal coach fight. So that'd be fun.
I mean, Saban yells at his assistants, right? But he just screams into the headset. you're like calling out multiple people for a penalty. That's a good way to be like, I'm out.
That was the big thing about Trent Dilfer getting the job, is like he is clearly a hothead when he's a coach. It showed up in high school, at the high school level.
Yelled at a kid.
Like berating, 15-year-old kids, and now like this is just who you are now. UAB 1-4 after losing to Tulane 35-20. Here's the thing: UAB was up 20-7 at one point and just squandered it away one play at a time. It seemed like Michael Pratt finally got into a rhythm, and this is what kind of happens when you have good quarterback play. And USF finally, for the first time in about 6 years, has good quarterback play. Byron Brown, 26-34, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 76% completion percentage. Big fan of that.
Yeah, and when you look at, I think they have it by, where is it? They have it by, short passing, so less 5 yards or less, 12 of 13, medium passing, 5 to 14 yards, 10 of 11, and 4 of 10 on 15-plus yards down the field. That's pretty good.
That's decent. That'll play.
So, yeah, he's definitely seemed to kind of round it into form just in time, and the receivers have kind of picked it up as well. They look so much more comfortable than they did. You knew the Alabama game was going to be kind of it wasn't going to be tough sledding regardless, but it's good to see the offense kind of two weeks in a row where you're able to hit some explosives in the passing game, and you can kind of see the blueprint of the offense a little bit. So,
yeah, and Byron finished the game 11 of 12 passing. So was able to, especially on that last drive, he was able to get
the
ball out quickly, get the first downs, extend the drive, which was clutch. I think he was 3 or 4, it looks like, on that final drive. One on a 3rd and 9 for 5 yards. That led to the punt, and then you got the roughing the punter, and then 3rd and 6 he got 10, and then on the 1st and 10, basically right after, got 4 yards, and then just kind of helped the offense move the ball along.
Yeah, so Donovan Jennings, have you heard anything else? Last week you asked about him in the post game after the Rice game. Coach Golish thought they were hoping to possibly get him back by Monday. Is it just that he didn't practice and so they didn't play him?
It seems like that. He was there. He traveled with
I saw him in his jersey, but he was not dressed.
He was not dressed, so I think he's still kind of nursing it. So we'll see kind of going forward what the status of that is. And frankly, I mean, the offensive line looked pretty good for the most part. So
I thought old Cole Best came in as backup center and got some push too. That's a tough spot to come in. Games tight-ish, and you got to come in and a bunch of shotgun snaps. So hats off to him for being ready to roll. Yep. And I thought he got some good push there in the middle of the line too. So good stuff all around.
Absolutely. And with that, it's before 8:00. Go enjoy your Saturday night. Go enjoy the rest of your evening, your weekend, and go to bed knowing that your South Florida Bulls are 3-2 and halfway to a bowl game. Let's go.
And 2-0 on the day if you consider the result up the I-4 there. So,
yeah, tough stuff. Couldn't imagine blowing a 35-10 lead. Couldn't be me. Anyways, go Bulls. Enjoy your weekend.
Go Bulls.